All right. Good morning. Welcome to this virtual information session about the Doctor of Science in Civil Security Leadership, Management, and Policy at the New Jersey City University. I'm Dr. Juste Codjo, the director of the program. I'll be your host today. I'm joined by Ms. Sachie Tsumura-Tmart, who is the Assistant Director of the Graduate Admissions Office here at NJCU. She will be with me throughout this process. We'll later be joined by three of our current students who will come and talk to you about their experience in the program. So again, thank you for joining us. We hope we will be able to answer all your questions and have a lovely discussion. A few words about the agenda for today. We will start with a brief presentation about the D.Sc program, who we are and what we do and how we do it. And then my colleague Sachie will talk to you about the application and admission process. That will be followed by pre-recorded statements from the offices of financial aid and veterans and military affairs. My two colleagues from those two offices will talk to you about the process for financial aid, both for civilians and military or veteran folks. And then we'll hear from our three current students, Nilufer, Frank, and Chad. We'll end with a short Q&A session. Now, if at any time you need clarification about something, please raise your hand and, I'll be happy, or we will be happy to answer your question even before we get to the Q&A session. Let me tell you a little bit about New Jersey City University. We are a public institution, so we work for the state of New Jersey. We are located in Jersey City, which is, right across the river from New York City. We are a minority serving institution. About 68% of our student body is actually Hispanic, and then add to that other ethnicities as well. We are a mid-sized institution, about 8,000 students, both graduate and undergraduate. Now, our program, the D.Sc program, is part of the Department of Professional Security Studies. At that department, we offer master's, bachelor's, and of course, this doctoral degree. The focus for the master's and the bachelor's degree, the focus is on national security, corporate security, cybersecurity / information assurance. We do the same basically for the doctoral degree as well. We focus on all aspects of civil security. We are a center of academic excellence per the designation from the National Security Agency and NSA, but also from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So this is very rare across the academic world in the U.S. We have, we have been designated by two major institutions as a Center of Academic Excellence. That's something we're very proud of. Now, let me tell you more about the program, the doctoral program. I'm sure that's why I'm here. We are an executive program, meaning that we are different from traditional doctoral programs. Ours is more designed for executive level or people who intend someday to work at the executive level or who are now working at the executive level. In any case, we are a program designed to help with executive level decision making. So intended for working professionals. It lasts 3 years, meaning that you can get your degree within 3 years. You don't have to. If you think you need more time to complete your degree, absolutely that's possible. So we are designed for 3 years, but it's up to every individual student. We are a cohort-based, also something that's different from traditional security or PhD programs. In other programs, you come in, you choose your course that you would like to attend every semester, and if you want to skip one course and then take it the next semester, you can do that. In our program, you don't have that possibility. Students come in as a group in the summer, And then every semester they take classes together as a group, okay? So the classes are pre-selected by us. So every semester you don't get to choose which course you take. We assign you the course as a group, and then you take that course and move from one semester to the next as a group. Um, we are a scholar practitioner-based program. As I said earlier, many working professionals. But also when students come in the program, we assume they have, knowledge from the field, right? Practitioner knowledge from the field. And what we do is add the scholar aspect to that, right? We try to build them or to build something that can enable them to have perspectives as a scholar, but also, of course, as a practitioner. So we do applied research. We are not purely theoretical, right, like classic PhDs, but we rather encourage our students to research topics that are applicable, right, to policymaking, to leadership, to management. And your area of specialization will emerge through your individual dissertation. We don't have classes that you can take to make you an expert in a specific field. You take classes I'll talk about the classes in a minute, but what we do is you write a dissertation. It's like a book that you write, right? You do your research throughout your stay in the program. You do the research on a specific topic, and as you do your research, that's how you build your knowledge base, and that's how you become an expert or a specialist in a specific area, okay? But classes that we offer account for the broader security field. So it will be up to you and up to your dissertation advisor to work on specific topics that can make you an expert on that specific topic and area. Now, we are a hybrid program, meaning that we are not fully online, we are not fully in person, we're hybrid. So we have 3 semesters every year, the summer, the fall, and the spring. So in the summer, we have a 2-week residency. I'll talk about that also later, where students have to be there in person for 2 weeks in the summer, in July. And then in the fall, we have residency as well on the weekends this time, so Friday evening through Sunday. We do it twice in the fall, early September and late October. And then in the spring, we also do it twice. I'll show you a little bit, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So every semester when we have the residency, the remainder of the semester, we do online integration. That means that, you don't have to be on Zoom, you don't have to come in person anymore after the residency, but rather you will be submitting and doing work online with your instructor. All right, so a little bit about the degree. Let me tell you, provide more details about the degree here. Our doctoral program is divided into 2 major phases. Phase 1, you complete courses to meet core requirements, and that gives you, 30 credit hours. And then in the second phase, you still take classes, but those classes are intended to help you develop your dissertation manuscript. And those courses will account for a total of 18 credits. So as you see, our program is, requires 48 credits to be completed. So the first phase, that's where you take classes on that, make you a subject matter expert, if you will. So when students come in the fall, so this year in the fall, in July, we'll start with the new cohort. And when they come, they take 2 courses, current issues 1 and 2. And those 2 courses are not concurrent, okay? You don't take them simultaneously, but rather you take current policy or current issues 1 and then 2, but both in the same semester. And then in the fall, you will take courses on policy and budget, also 1 and 2, same model. Take 1 first and then 2 the next one. And for each course, you have 2 different professors. And then in the spring, so of next year, that will be the 3rd semester, the end of the first year in the program. Students will take classes on emergency management, 1 and 2, also 2 professors. And then come summer 2. There will be a course on executive communication, also 1 and 2, same model. And in the fall number 2 will be data analysis. So this is where students are now introduced to research method, right? Where they can start designing their own research and complete the first phase of the program. So those are the 5 major sets of courses. So 10 courses total, but 5 areas of expertise. And the key milestones during this phase 1 is to be able to propose a topic for your research. We call it a dissertation proposal. And then you present that and you defend it in front of a committee. And then once the committee approves, you can start working on your dissertation chapters. And the second key milestone for this phase 1 is, completing a required comprehensive exam, which is typical in all doctoral programs. And then if you're admitted, we provide more information about how to get to that point. Phase 2 starts then in spring number 3 or number 2, I would say, spring number 2, with, of course, a course that helps you develop or flesh out your dissertation proposal into full chapters for your book or your dissertation, book style dissertation, as I said earlier. And then in the summer and the last fall, so that's, fall of year 3 we're talking about here. So you'll be, completing your last courses in the program. And hopefully by that time, by the fall of the last year, you'll be able to put together a research that can help you defend your dissertation and graduate. So graduation will be in the spring of year 3. If for some reason you're not able to defend in the spring of year 3, you have, until up to 7 years total from the beginning of the program, or from your studying program. You'll have 7 years to complete it. So the 3 years for completion is not, you don't have to abide by that. You can go beyond those 3 years if needed. And of course, to graduate from the program, you need to, successfully defend your dissertation. As I said, if you've done master thesis in your master program, you probably know how these things go, except that here it is more in-depth and it's broader, right? More intense, if you will. So let me just give you an overview of year 1 schedule for the next cohort. If you were to apply and were to be admitted into the program, this is what your first year would look like. Okay, so in July, you will come into the program, and July 8th through the 18th, we'll have a 2-week residency in person in Jersey City. And the first week is from July 8th through the 11th, so Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. So this is all day. Some people sometimes think this is an evening program. No, it is not. Okay, so in the summer, we meet during the day. First week, the 8th through the 11th in July, and then second week, the 15th through the 18th in July. And then after that, you will be doing the rest of the summer semester online. There will be assignments. I'll be teaching one of those 2 courses, and then we provide assignments and you submit. Mostly is researching articles, reading, and then writing. So that's a lot of writing and reading that you'll be doing in our program. And then in the fall, you take also 2 courses, but as I said, they're not simultaneous. You finish one and then you continue with the other one. So the first residency will take place in September during a weekend, the 6th through the 8th, I believe. I will have to double check, but I think that's the right time. So this one will take place basically Friday evening through Sunday. So we have classes Friday evening, then Saturday all day, and then Sunday in the morning. And the second weekend will come in late October, and it's the same format. And then would come your third semester in the spring next year. Also 2 weekends for residency and then the rest online. First residency will be in January and then the second one in March, also Friday through Sunday. Okay. Information about cost. This is critical because we do not provide scholarships, unfortunately. So students who enter the program often rely on scholarships either from the employer, those who are in the military, of course, take advantage of the GI Bill and other financial aid opportunities within the military, or you can take or you can take loans to pay for your studies, or you can pay out of pocket. So we've seen all of that in the past, but we do not offer scholarships. That's the key takeaway here. And the cost you can see is about $7,811 per semester, and this is for this current academic year. So it might go up a little bit in the next one. I cannot guarantee, but this is just as a guide for you. So you're looking at a total of $62,500 to complete the program as a whole. And that's if you complete it within 3 years. The longer you take, of course, you have to pay more because every semester, if you are not taking classes and you're done with all the classes, you will still be required to pay for one course of matriculation to maintain your matriculation or affiliation with the university. So that's one incentive right there to be done early if you were to join the program. Now I'll turn over to my colleague, Sachie, who will tell you a little bit about the application and admission processes. Sachie.
Hi everyone, I am Sachie Tsumura-Tmart and I am Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions at NJCU and I will be your contact. So whenever you have a question regarding admissions, contact me, okay? Right, so now you know what the program looks like. Let's talk about how to join us. In order for you to be admitted to the program, you have to complete your application by May 8th. If you'd like to join us this year, you have to complete your application before May 8th. And the earlier you complete your application, the earlier we can make a decision for you. The first step you're gonna have to do is to go to the website and apply online. Apply button is everywhere, so you're not gonna be able to miss it. But once again, if you get stuck, just contact me, okay? So it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete the online application. So one thing that you have to know about the application is that before you submit your application, you have to have some idea of who your recommenders would be. Because as soon as you put the recommenders information in the application system will send the recommender the request to submit the recommendation letter to us. So it's critical for you to get in touch with your recommender before you submit your application so that they won't be surprised when they receive the request from us. Okay. Now let's go through this. Okay, so the first step is to complete the online application, and yes, we do ask $55 of the non-refundable application fee, but since you are here with us today, we are waiving the fee for you. So when you apply online, please use the code GRAD24. I'm gonna put that in the chat later. So make sure to put the application fee waiver so that you don't have to pay the $55. Okay, all right. So after you submit your application, then you can upload your documents such as your essay and resume. Your essay must be a minimum of 1,000 words, and you need to discuss your goals and objectives, including a description of the real-world security issue and programs that you are interested in exploring in your dissertation research. You also need to show a minimum of 4 years of security work experiences. Make sure to put all this information in your resume because Dr. Codjo is going to look at them, okay? Now, when it comes to transcript, may I ask, did anybody go to did anybody get the higher education outside of the US? No? Okay. All right. So when it comes to transcript, you're going to have to submit 2 transcripts. one transcript for your bachelor's degree and one transcript for your master's degree, and they all need to be official. So make sure to submit them after you submit your online application. Now, in case your English is not your native language, you have to take English language proficiency exams such as TOEFL, IELTS, and we also accept Duolingo. Once again, if you have questions, just call me, email me. I'm here to assist you, okay? So after you complete your application, I'm going to send the application to Dr. Codjo, and Dr. Codjo will review your application. And he usually makes a decision within 2 weeks. After he makes a decision, he lets me know so that I can notify you via email whether you are admitted or not to the program. And I think that's about it for the admission requirements. Once again, I'm here to assist you. So whenever you get stuck, just email me, contact me, and we all look forward to receiving your application soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachie. So now we'll hear from the Financial Aid Office, from the director, Dr. Lydia Rodriguez-Carter. She's not here live now, but she has a pre-recorded statement that I'm gonna play for you.
Thank you. So a little bit about the Financial Aid Office, and not that saying that you may ever want to come, but just in case you're on campus and you want to stop by, we're located on the second floor of Hepburn Hall, room 212. We could be reached either by walk-in, email, or by telephone. If you wish to have an appointment with any of the financial aid counselors regarding any questions you may want to have about financial aid, you can request an appointment by emailing the financial aid email, and in the subject line put appointment requested, indicate that you want Zoom or telephone or in person, and someone will reach out to you and make that appointment for you. Always put your student ID if you have one. If you don't have one and you are just a prospective student, just let us know that so that we know not to look for you in the system, and that we're trying to guide you to what things are available for you, or if you have questions regarding the financial aid process. So it's very exciting. You're coming into a brand new year of 24-25. And with that, there is going to be a lot of new things going on the FAFSA. That may not affect you because it's not really affecting students who do student loans. It really is affecting students who do the Pell Grant. But because of that, the FAFSA has been delayed. So for a lot of you, that means you won't be able to complete a FAFSA until after December 31st of 2023, because that's when it'll be available. You only need to complete the FAFSA if you want to be considered for federal student loans. If you don't want to do student loans, or you are going to pay for your tuition some other way, then you don't need to complete a FAFSA. But if you're going to finance it by the federal process, complete it in time for that. By the time classes begin, you have your award package. If you do not have a FAFSA ID, or maybe when you did your master's, you had one, and it's been a while, please go there now to reactivate your FAFSA ID. The federal government is recommending that everybody have their FAFSA ID before the FAFSA is available. It takes about 3 days for them to validate a person's ID, and you want to make sure that if there's anything extra you need to do, that you do it in time for you to complete the FAFSA. Our school code is on the screen, is 002613. You'll need that so that we can get a copy of that FAFSA. We need the FAFSA to be able to determine how much federal student loans you can receive. We also need to know what your loan history is, because we need to make sure that you are still eligible to receive the student loans. So the student loans for graduate student is the unsubsidized loan. The maximum you can get annually is $20,500. That's about $10,250 per semester, which usually is enough to cover the fall and the spring, your direct costs from the school, if that's what you want to do and how you want to pay. If you need a little extra for transportation or lodging, we can absolutely consider you for a Graduate Plus, you do need to complete an additional application on studentaid.gov, letting them know that you're interested in that because there is a credit check that is pulled. It is called a soft credit check, which means that they're looking to see if you have anything delinquent. And typically, if you don't, they approve it. And then that credit check is really good for almost 180 days. You indicate how much you want. If you want the max, we'll let you know what the max is, and then you can go from there to decide if that's what you want. We always tell students to borrow what you need, plan, determine what it is that you're going to be needing so that you can borrow what you need for the full year. You have to have at least 6 credits in this program. It's already created in that way, so you do qualify. But if at any time you fall below 6 credits, it does mean that you won't qualify for the federal loans because the federal government does stipulate that a student be part-time and 6 credits is part-time status. We do have other methods of payment. We have a payment plan. The bursar's office is the office that you will need to start that with. We ask students that if they're thinking about a payment plan, that they start early in the process. For the fall is in August, for the spring is in December. That gives you more months to divide the amount that you want to put on a payment plan so that you're paying in small allocations. If you're going to be paying some other method, then you can let the bursar know how that method is so that they are aware and they are able to work with you to make sure that you're not negatively impacted in any way. But they do expect that you have some sort of payment with the bursar's office by a certain time to be allowed to continue to register at the school. The bursar email is there. If you want more information, there's also information on the New Jersey City University website. And Dr. Codjo, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't say your name incorrectly. He did talk about the cost. While the cost that he mentioned is the direct cost, what we will charge you, we do come up with a cost of education for each student that consists of room and board, transportation, miscellaneous, books, and supplies. We will let you know what that is so that you can probably plan. I mean, the loans are enough to cover your direct costs, but if you need anything additional, then you let us know so that we can tell you what that cost of education is and you can go ahead and borrow additional more. We tell our students plan accordingly. This is a big step you're taking and you want to make sure that you're not negatively impacted in any way. So think about what it is you're going to do for your first year, that whatever that is, you're going to be doing that for the next 3 to 4 years. Make sure you have that FAFSA ID before you complete that FAFSA. Please look at your emails. Make sure that that email is an active email and that you're continuously looking because they may ask you to do something additional or ask you to come back in to complete something. They will reach out to you once they've processed your FAFSA or if there is something wrong. Also, at this time, collect your documentation. Whatever income documentation you're using, collect it. Whatever information you're using to complete that FAFSA, collect it somewhere that if you need to supply it to the office, you're able to do so because it's at your fingertips. Check notifications. Sometimes additional documentation is required from our office before we can proceed. So please check whatever email you have on file is how we're going to communicate with you. If you have not heard from us and you know it's close to the beginning of school, please reach out to us just to do a check. Make sure that everything is okay before classes begin. FERPA. FERPA on file is very important. You are the student and you are the most important person in our world. But in your world, you have many people who are very important and maybe are invested in you pursuing this new journey. If they're going to be calling the office, calling for information, or assisting you in any way, payments, taking out loans, co-signing loans, whatever, please put them on your FERPA so that when they call the office, we can freely talk to them. It sometimes becomes a little frustrating sometimes when people call and we can only discuss general information because we don't have a FERPA on file. So if you have a significant other, a partner, a relative, whoever that person may be, who is going to take this journey with you and be your resource, make sure that they have a FERPA on file so we can discuss freely with them anything they may want to know. Again, important to review your emails, make sure that everything is okay. Sometimes it may go to junk mail the first time, so you want to make sure to move it so that everything continuously goes into a good folder or a good email inbox. Disbursements are not done until 3 to 4 weeks into the semester, and that's very important. Because if you are doing refunds and that refund is how you're going to be doing certain things, that's when your refund will be actually sent to you shortly thereafter, not the day of the actual disbursement, because the bursar does need to do their part, and that is to review it. So please plan accordingly. Realize that it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks before any actual credit may be refunded to you. If you need to buy textbooks, they do allow you to be able to put some monies on your e-card so that you can buy textbooks from the bookstore, etc. However, but if the refund is something you need for other expenses, that could take a while before you can receive it. And again, you're doing the payment plan, think early. The quicker you're on it, the more months you have. This way, you're not having these big payments that you need to do. Again, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to see you around campus.
All right. Thank you to Dr. Carter. Now we'll move to the Military and Veterans Office and hear from its director, Ms. Elaine Gargiulo. She is not here, but also she has a recorded statement for you that I'll play in a minute. She will talk to folks who are in the military or were in the military regarding how they can get started.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Elaine Gargiulo. I am the Director of Military and Veteran Services here on campus. Thank you, Dr. Codjo and Sachie, for inviting me. I was invited because this is a very attractive program for military students, especially with the GI Bill and the New Jersey National Guard waiver program. So I'll spend a few minutes talking about that. Before I talk about the benefits, I just want to say that I have been with the school for a very long time. I was here at the inception of this program. I am very fond of this department. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about the National Security Studies programs, all bachelor's, master's, and the doctoral program. I am happy to say that the very first graduate of the doctoral program is an Army veteran. Dr. Alakba was the first to embark on this journey back in 2012 when it started. And since then, we've had 9 people complete the program that have a military background. So we are thrilled, very proud of all of them. We currently have about 8 right now that are military that are in the program. One who hopefully will be defending her dissertation in a couple months, graduating to become number 10, and hopefully more that I'll be hearing. And hopefully, if some of you are military, I'd like to see you join the program. We've had all branches in this program. The main benefits that tend to be used are the New Jersey National Guard Benefits Program and the Post 9/11 GI Bill. In terms of the New Jersey National Guard, the waiver program covers the tuition. So as long as you're in good standing with either the New Jersey Army or National Guard, every semester you submit a waiver, your tuition will be waived. And the only thing that you are responsible for paying are the student fees, which based on what we saw earlier is roughly $700 a semester for fees. Everything else is completely waived. In terms of the post 9/11 GI Bill, depending on your entitlement, the program is fully covered. It is treated as a full-time program with 6 credits. It is treated as in residence for BAH housing purposes, as long as you're taking the 6 credits, because of the requirement that you meet on campus at least once per term physically. That meets the requirement for in-residence coursework. So $3,800 a month is the current BAH if you are 100% eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill. In the beginning of the semester, once we get all your paperwork and get you situated, we notify the Office of Students Accounts that you are a veteran receiving this benefit. They will put a hold on your account so you're not penalized or dropped for non-payment. And then once the semester begins, we will charge the Department of Veterans Affairs for the cost of your tuition, and then they'll pay us. If you are receiving any type of financial aid, the financial aid will be released once the GI Bill money comes in and pushes it out of your accounts. Your book stipend will be activated as long as we get you enrolled in the program earlier on. The book stipend is released 2 weeks before the start of term. And then you will start to see monthly housing payments at the end of each month. In order to receive the GI Bill, you have to complete a month to get a month because they pay in arrears. So those are the two most popular programs that are used for our veterans. I have an assistant. Her name is Ms. Randy Fontanez. I'm going to drop our information into the chat. So if you do have any questions, I'm also going to stay on the line till the end. I'm happy to answer any questions about the program. Let me just make sure that I told you everything I have to say, because Dr. Codjo, you know me, I could go on and on forever. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. But like I said, I'll drop our information in the chat. If you are military, please make sure that you reach out, let us know. We're happy to help guide you through the process. And thank you once again for inviting me, Dr. Codjo. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gargiulo. She's not here. This was a pre-recorded statement. I showed her email, so feel free to reach out if you're a veteran or current military. Now, I would like to turn to our current students. Hopefully, they're all here. Let me stop the sharing so we can see who is here. There we go. Nilu, Chad Frank is here as well. Perfect. So we'll start with Nilufer. Do you mind, please, introducing yourself and sharing your experience with the students? And the three of you, thank you for joining, of course. And Nilufer, please.
Thank you, Dr. Codjo, Sachie, for inviting me today. I joined this program last year, and it has been an absolute blast. It has opened my eyes about learning, about understanding my subject. So I'm a risk management professional, and I have a bunch of certifications. I teach at Rutgers University. I work full-time for Verizon. And when I joined in, I had heard so many good things from past people who had completed this program and who are my friends. But when I experienced it for myself, I was really surprised because I took Dr. Codjo's class first. And this program, it's a scholar practitioner program. It is extremely different from what you would experience at another university because it teaches you how to research stuff, how to learn more about what you are an expert at. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always here. And thank you, Dr. Codjo, once more.
Thank you, Nilufer. Thanks for these kind words as well. Let's now hear from Frank. Frank, can you hear me?
Hey, doctor, can you hear line clear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you see me?
Absolutely, yes.
Hey, everybody, good morning. My name is Frank Acuna. I'm one of the military students here on campus. I started the program also last year with Nilufer and Chad as well. I will tell you, it has been, Nilufer, to say being an eye-opener is a very understatement. There's a lot of things that I've learned the past year that I kind of wish I knew 5 years ago when I entered the senior management positions within the security field. I've been in security for nearly 20 years in the corporate sector and also within the military. And I'll tell you that it's been very, very, very gratifying, very rewarding to learn the things, so one thing about me is like I'm an alumni from NJCU, from my bachelor, from my master's, into my current role now as a doctoral student. My current field of study I kind of wrote it here because I tend to forget what I'm actually my study is. But currently, what I'm looking for, I don't know if you guys can see my screen right now, but how does the lack of management collaboration impact security policy implementation, the communication gaps of new generation workforce? I'm not going to go into all details about my topic itself, but what I would tell you is that it's coming from experience and also coming from a lot of the reading on the literature that that have been exposed to in the past year. A lot of things that I was not aware of. How things connect with each other, intertwine with each other, and my recommendation is if you're thinking about joining the program, just be ready to work. It's not a program that you're gonna be held by your hand and be taken. But on the same token, Dr. Codjo and the entire staff and faculty, they provide you with the tools, deadlines, milestones you have to reach and when you have to reach them by. So it's a great process. It is there to take advantage of. But I would really tell you, like, you really have to make the time, and there's going to be sacrifices you're going to have to make, right? So maybe weekends that you're going to have to really be putting away and not being, realistically, eliminating kind of the fun. But you have to put the time if you want to see the results and expect to graduate within a specific time frame. But other than that, my information is there. You also can find me on LinkedIn if you won't have any questions. Gladly to further expand on what my experience has been so far. So thank you all and best of luck.
Thank you, Frank. And now we'll turn to Chad. Chad, please.
Yeah, it's good morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting me, Dr. Codjo. Thanks to my colleagues in LC12. I think they were both right on the money that it's a great program. It is challenging, as Dr. Codjo said earlier. A scholar practitioner type of program is a different environment than what most people think coming into a doctoral program. I would say that for those of us who are actively engaged at work, Nilofer is both instructing and in risk management at Verizon. Frank is in the private sector. I'm in the public sector, the Department of Defense, and we all have very challenging day lives that we integrate our schoolwork into. And so I would say that keep your calendar of class times and when you're going to be in session nearby. Your next 3 years, you'll have to be very diligent in your scheduling, very diligent in your coursework. Once Dr. Codjo gives you an assignment, that's it. The assignment is given, or the timeline is given. Please make note of those things because this is a program where you're responsible for your own success. I'm very fortunate within our cohort. We have a very good, close-knit group who provide a lot of support for one another. We have group texts that are going on even as we speak about coursework from this semester and keeping us up all on track. So I will say that you'll get both a good academic rigor out of this course, as well as connections that you'll be able to use both in real time and ones that you'll be investing in for your postdoctoral life. So I would say that this is at the end of the day, this is a good investment for you. Walk into it with the expectation that you'll learn something every time you engage with the professors and with your colleagues in the course. Know that you're bringing a piece of the course with you, with your experience, with your background. But know that that's just a portion of it, that you're going to walk in and you're going to take the whole of the course with you when you leave. So I would say that this is a good place to begin your doctoral career. I think all of us in LC12 and in the previous cohorts that we've interacted with, this has been a really good investment for us. And I think that you will come out of this program much better for it. So with that, I think we're all around for any additional questions, or Dr. Codjo, if there's something that specific you want to ask us. to ensure that we bring to the potential applicants for the program. We're available for that, but good luck, everyone. Thanks so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Chad. And thank you again, all three of you. I might have one or two questions for you, but let's wait and see if the audience has questions. Anybody from the audience would like to ask any questions to me, to Sachie, or to our three current students, Nilufer, Frank, and Chad?
So you can either unmute and ask us questions or type in questions in the chat. So Dr. Codjo, so one of the questions that they had was application deadline, but how hard are you on the application deadline of May 8th?
So to be specific about the this application cycle, I'm going to be honest with you. We have a cap, right, that we cannot exceed. And right now, we only have a few spots left. So there's been a great, increase in applications this year. And we've accepted a number that is very close to the cap. That means that May 8th, if we receive applications, those that we receive by May 8th will have a greater chance of, being admitted if they're qualified, of course. But then if we reach that cap, in May, and then you come in later, it's going to be hard. So that's my answer for this specific, cycle for the 2024-2025 academic year. In some other years where we don't have as many applications, we are a little bit more flexible, going through May 15 or late May. But yeah, end of May is usually, deadline for even late applications. But again, that varies from one cycle to the other. But for this cycle, I am being honest with you, we are, getting close, very close to reaching the cap.
And I just wanted to let you know that, suppose you are admitted and there's some reason that you cannot join us, you can always defer. So, we do encourage you to apply and be admitted first, and then it's up to you to either accept the offer for this year or next year or the year after. Okay? Right.
Thank
So
you,
Dr.
Sachie.
Codjo, we have one more question regarding GRE. Is GRE
Okay.
required?
So GRE is no longer required. We used to require it. After COVID or since COVID, I would say we have not required that. It is now waived. We base so here is what happens. When you apply, once you apply in the system, Sachie gets the application, then she sends it to me. And first thing I do, I take a quick look, and then I call you, give you a call. Every one applicant I call. And we have a conversation about your interests in the program, about how you're going to fund and all that. So that's how I also evaluate, through your responses. You may not know, but I take notes and I'm like, okay, is this person a good fit? Is this person prepared? And so on and so forth. Okay, so that's my way of assessing some of the things that the GRE would have done. So short answer is no, you don't need a GRE anymore. Instead, you'll be going through an assessment by me. Any other questions?
I think that's it for the chat. Do we have any questions in the audience would you like to unmute and ask us questions?
Yeah, please don't be shy. We are here to answer your question. Now, as you could tell, right, the three current students that we have, one is in cyber/security risk management. The other one is in physical security management, in corporate security, and Chad is in national defense. You see here the diversity. That's why we say we are a civil security program, and we mean security in a very broad sense. I have in that same cohort someone studying, emergency management in Ghana, West Africa, and so on and so forth. So it's very diverse. And that diversity is a strength in the program because we are cohort based. When you sit in the classroom, and you are, in national defense and don't have much knowledge about corporate security or risk management or emergency management overseas, and then you hear your classmates who are experts in those fields, they talk, they do their research, they present their research. That's how you also learn from other fields or about other fields. And that's a very important strength that we have in the program. And that's one reason why we require 4 years of professional experience, so people can, be confident when they talk about their subject. They have something to share that other students can learn from. So yeah, definitely this is something to keep in mind as you explore in your options. Now, I know the three of you who are here, just from the perspective of, applying, when you were in that position last year, before you applied, and a year later, what do you think, determined you to apply, and what would you recommend, prospective students to consider as they're, going through that thought process right now? Nilufer wants to go first,
Nilufer begin.
or Chad?
Well, I would say that when you're taking a look at applying for the program, two things to consider. One is your time. That this is not a while it's structured as a not in class every day, that does not mean that it is not a part-time or less than part-time program. It is something that you will have to balance your time. I think it's worth the investment, but it's certainly something that, as you're making an application, take a look at what your next 2 or 3 years on your professional, your personal, just your life goals for the next few years, to see if those are things that are in sync. Because while we have very understanding instructors and professors, the expectation is that we make forward progress in the program. And life doesn't stop because we're in the program, but it doesn't mean that on the side I'm a travel agent and I love cruises, but that means that for the next 3 years I'm not on a cruise every other month, unfortunately. So those are the things that I would have you take a sort of an honest look at. Dr. Codjo will give you. I know you can barely see it here because I pretend that I'm on the beach at the moment. But he'll give you a very in-depth academic calendar that will be your Bible for the next, 2-3 years, to make sure that you're planning your life accordingly. But I think the investment is pretty worth it.
Thank you, Chad. When I started off, I was very apprehensive about what this program would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was extremely apprehensive about what this program would look like, or what my colleagues in the program would be. And because I was going to school after a very long time, I'm used to going to school, but I teach over there. And now it was as a student, it was the first day when I was going to class, I was a little bit nervous on what the class would look like, etc. Dr. Codjo has done such a fantastic job. He has broken down, he will give you a calendar, which Chad was showing you. Every day of the next 3 years are broken down into what you will be doing, what to expect, what kind of assignments will be there. So you will be able to plan your life so well that as long as all those things are taken care of, you can continue doing what you love to do. Like Chad goes on cruises. It's not like he doesn't go, but it is a fantastic program. I wouldn't have expected. I mean, I learned so much from Dr. Codjo's program that, how could I teach better? And this is great because, yes, it is intense. It is a lot of hard work, but then the way it's broken down, it is extremely doable. So I feel it's a great investment of my time and my money, and I'm paying out of pocket, and a bunch of other people on this program are also paying out of pocket. It's totally worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nilufer. Very much appreciated. Is Frank? I think Frank is gone. Yeah.
Frank had to stop. Yeah.
No, thank you both. So yeah, hopefully these pieces of advice will help you in your decision. I see a question in the chat room about the maximum cohort size. as I said, that varies. The very first year when we started the program in 2012, we had 18. And then we saw, well, that was a little too high. Then we came down to 15, and then to 12. So over the past, I'd say 7 years, we've put a cap of 12. But as we are speaking right now, we have admitted 12 students, actually. And we are willing to go up, maybe 3 more to 15, for the simple reason that we accept people and then the last minute, they say, oh, I can't make it this year because my summer program has changed. I can take off work and all that. So we lose those spots because we no longer have, the possibility of admitting people. So this year we decided, even though we've reached the cap, to admit a few more if we have qualified students. And then hopefully we'll have, around that number of 12 that we're looking for, even if a few were to defer or drop our last minute. So that's my honest response to your question. All right, Sean, thanks for the question. Sheila, Kimberly, and Joe, yeah, feel free if you have questions, or you can email me. If you go to our website, my email is on there, but it was on the slide. I'm putting it here as well, just in case. There we go. And yeah, we'll be happy to answer your questions. Sachie is here as well. If you have questions, reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer them. All right. Thank you for joining us. And it was nice talking to you. And we hope you would apply, and we look forward to reviewing your applications.